I am the greatest. I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass. You won't do shit. Just stick and move. Waking you up and saying, now stick and move. Keep your hands up.
Welcome to a new episode of the Stick and Move podcast. I'm your host, Trey, here with my homeboy, Sam. And today we are discussing the top 3 dirtiest fighters in boxing history. Did our guy make the list? Did your guy make the list? That's what we're going to talk about today. So, Sam, punch me in the face. Who is your number 3 most dirtiest fighter of all time?
It's going to be difficult, but I'm just going to go what I've seen in my, time watching boxing. My number 3 fighter is Ricardo Mayorga.
Right. I was thinking about him.
Ricardo, he is a dirty fighter. And when I first, saw him fight, he was fighting a guy named Andrew Sixhead Lewis.
Right, I remember that.
And dude, I mean, he threw a shot behind the guy's ear, man. He threw a shot behind the guy's head, knocking him down, blah, blah, blah. Nobody said anything about it. Boom, he becomes a champion. He gets noticed. He gets picked up, I think, by Don King. And he rises to the occasion. He fights Vernon Forrest, bro. When he fought Vernon Forrest, I don't care what anybody says. I know what I saw. When he was fighting Vernon Forrest, all he did was hit him in the back of the head, bro. That's all he did. I just saw shots from the back of the head. Nobody said anything. It felt, Don King was involved. And, I mean, throughout his whole, fighting Mosley and De La Hoya and Fernando Vargas and Trinidad, whatever, he's always tried to cheat, man. That's just the way he's been. To me, he's a dirty fighter, and he shouldn't be boxing. I'm glad he's not boxing anymore, of course, but he got a title by cheating, in my opinion.
A lot of people would say, well, he beat Vernon Forrest twice. So how would you respond to that?
I would say, he beat him twice by hitting him in the back of the head.
All right.
That nobody did anything about.
Actually, I have Mayorga on my notes as well. I was going to put him on there, but what I loved about Mayorga, this is what I loved about it. I know everybody loved him because he was this charismatic guy who didn't give a F. He would be smoking after the fights and walking into the ring smoking, that kind of thing. But I actually liked it when he would get his butt kicked against De La Hoya and Mosley, and how they would just take him down. Mm-hmm. And that was like, because I remember seeing, man, this guy is crazy dirty, both times against Vernon Forrest and so on. And to see him get laid out, I loved it, man. I loved it, especially that I think it was like a 15 to 20 punch combination by De La Hoya that finally got called. And it even looked like the referee let De La Hoya throw in a couple of more combos on the ropes before he called it. But I'm cool with him being our number 3, man. Mayorga, that's his MO, being a dirty fighter. So, yeah, that's cool, man.
What's your number 3?
All right, so my number 3 is, hey, guys, Trey here. If you love today's controversial episode and you want to see our channel grow, please drop a like, subscribe, and also comment. Sam and I are always going back and forth with those commenters on our controversial topics and opinions, and we love it so much. So go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe, most importantly, so our channel can grow and we can give you guys the best content as possible. Sam and I were always uploading multiple videos a week, and we want to continue doing that, and we need your help. So go ahead and subscribe, guys. And most importantly, like I always say, don't forget to stick and move, baby. Andrew Galata, man.
Oh, man.
Look. This guy caused a riot in the ring, brother.
The whole arena, yeah.
I mean, and it wasn't just against Riddick Bowe. I mean, he did it against Reese in this heavyweight, big old heavyweight bouts. I mean, he was known for going in, ducking in, and hitting those low blows. That should have been his nickname, Andrew Low Blow Galata, if you ask me. But dude, that was actually when he got into that scuffle with the trainer was with
I
Reese.
remember that. I remember that.
Dude. And they're like, dude, what the hell are you doing? So when I would see Galata, and it's so crazy, bro. See, this is what happens when you get a street fighter into boxing. Because when they get challenged, for most street fighters, now you can argue that street fighters are boxers and so on, but when somebody comes off the streets like Andrew Galata did, they can't handle adversity, and I think this is a controversial take. Because a street fighter cannot kick and wrestle, they'll resort to a low blow because it pretty much ends the fight.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
you
yeah.
saw him, as you saw him with Riddick Bowe both times. I mean,
Yeah.
both times. I mean, it looked like he wanted. I don't know, dude. Like it was like his glove was a magnet to Riddick Bowe's draws, man. And you would see Riddick Bowe fall to the ground crying almost due to these heavy-handed uppercuts to the groin, bro. You know what I'm saying? I can't even take a flick down there without getting on my knees and crying. And here is a guy that weighs 260 pounds with all shredded muscle, giving it all you got to the crotch area. I'm out, bro.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
out. No padding on earth can ever cover what Andrew Galata did to Reese's and Riddick Bowe's growing, and amongst other boxers as well, that he was known for doing that too. So that's why I have Andrew Galata my number 3. You got any thoughts on that?
No, he was one of the guys I was thinking about also. He's just a completely dirty fighter. He was frustrated, and when he got frustrated, realized that he was not going to win, and he just started, cheating,
Right.
So I agree. My number 2.
Who's your number 2? Yeah,
My
who's your
number 2.
man?
My number 2, and I was reading about him yesterday, and
Right.
my number 2 is Antonio Margarito.
Right.
He's my number 2. I was reading about that he was wearing. There's probability that he was wearing the same cast when he fought Kermit Cintron.
Right.
Of course, he got busted when he fought Cotto. Almost killed him in the ring, bro. He almost killed Cotto.
Right.
And he was gonna do the same thing with Mosley, but Mosley's trainer caught on to the rapping. This guy was he was gonna continue cheating throughout his. Who knows how far back he's been fighting like this?
Margarito says he didn't know about it. He did know about it because I think there's audio somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but I remember hearing that where the trainer is telling him your cast or your glove should be hard by the 4th or 5th round or something like that. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, and the fact that we don't know how far back he's been doing this because there's no proof anymore, records or whatever. But the fact that he was going to do that in Mosley and dude, you never know what could have happened, bro. He could have killed Cotto. He could have killed Mosley. He could have killed the Kermit Cintron. I mean, this guy is the dirtiest fighter, man, without a doubt. For me, at least, people that cheat like that and that using the casting, making cast under the glove in their hands. I mean, dude, it's too much, man. We can't have that in boxing. To me, he's a dirty fighter, and he can never. He's tarnished. He'll always be considered a cheater.
Well, look, man, I remember he was the boogeyman. Nobody wanted to fight him.
Yeah.
But Cotto was never the same after that fight. Imagine if he never did that to Cotto. If Cotto gave Mayweather a beating like he did, imagine if he never would have had that beatdown from Margarito. What kind of a different fighter we would have had from Cotto? Besides that, look, bro. Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, after his gloves got inspected, after his suspension, and then when he fought Pacquiao ended him forever.
Destroyed him. Yeah.
Destroyed, broke his eye socket. That thing was gone, brother. And you're probably right. He probably went majority of his career, majority of his wins when he was the boogeyman because he had that awkward style. And of course, the hardest punch, but we know why. Who knows how far back it goes? So I'm down with your number 2. So
all right. So who's your number 2?
My number 2 is controversial. He's not really ever brought up on the most dirtiest fighters of all time, but I'm going to go there. And I'm going to go with Evander Holyfield.
Mm-hmm.
Look, bro, do you remember what he did to Hasim Rahman's head?
Yeah.
With that knot the size of a softball, bro. With that crazy headbutt. He was probably the slickest, most dirtiest boxer in history, in my opinion. And the only reason why I say that, bro, because if you watch his fights, the way he would camouflage going down, pretending to go low just to nudge in the head, countless headbutts. He knew how to do it. I honestly think that was from his time in the cruiserweight, where he had to use his speed a little bit more versus heavyweight. But, and also, bro, when he fought Mike Tyson, dude, it's already heavily documented. Tyson grew frustrated with Evander Holyfield. The reason why he bit his ear off, constant low blows, constant headbutting, constant elbows, constant hits to the back of the head. That's what made Tyson break and do the unthinkable in that fight. I mean, even Lennox Lewis says that that his third punch was his headbutt. So that puts things a little bit into perspective, considering the wars that they went through.
Yeah.
Dude, even if you watch his earlier stuff, like against James Tillis, dude, the low blows were so obvious, but he knew when the ref was behind him how to cut the angle to get that blow in there. That sounds weird to say, but dude, I know Evander Holyfield. He's this respected warrior. I mean, we've talked about him numerous times. He was one of my favorite boxers back in the days. But if you review the tape, man, and you and I've been talking boxing for years, even before this podcast. Holyfield, he is that guy you do not want to say was dirty because he was so beloved with his style, with his underdog style. But bro, if you watch those fights, low blows countless times to Mike Tyson, countless times to Tillis, countless times to Lewis, and so on and so on, that I had to put him my number 2.
All right.
So any thoughts on that? Because I know you love Holyfield.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I agree. Mike Tyson did complain that Holyfield was using elbows, and I mean, Holyfield did what he could to try to win the fight,
right?
And it frustrated a lot of fighters, but Mike Tyson, went over the top with it. But I do recall, man. I do recall even the punches behind the head. I mean, dude, I cannot erase what I saw. As much as I love Holyfield, but yeah, I get why he's your number 2.
There you go, man. All right, so drum roll, please. What is your number 1, my man?
Look, I have a few other guys, but I'm gonna pick one right now because I can't get over. As much as I didn't like Trinidad, Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah, he's on my list too.
Yeah, Bernard Hopkins was one of the dirtiest boxers I've ever seen, bro. In that fight, as much as I was rooting for Hopkins, because as much as I was rooting for Hopkins, bro, he was coming in with headbutts, bro. He destroyed Trinidad's face with a lot of headbutts, a lot of punches behind the head, a lot of low blows. If y'all don't believe me, go and watch the fights again. He did that with numerous opponents, bro, that Hopkins has fought with. And it's just his style. And people are okay with it. They're like, well, that's the way he fights. That's Hopkins' style. No, that's not right. You don't go in to throw a punch using your head first. You know what I'm saying? And that was the only way, in my opinion. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, but that was the only way he beat Trinidad, was those headbutts. He has a long list of things that he's done in the past. If you Google, the top dirtiest fighters out of the whole entire world, Hopkins' name is in there. I mean, the guy was just dirty, bro.
It's so funny, man, because I have Hopkins here on my notes. I did not put him on my notes. I mean, I did not put him on my list. Sorry. And yeah, dude, you are right. I mean, they actually, I remember hearing nicknames about him that he was that prison style
Yeah.
boxer. And because, like Evander Holyfield, they have that great story. They were these beloved, great comeback stories that people love, and they didn't want to associate them with being that dirty fighter or controversial fighter that they were, who deservingly both should be on both of our lists. Perhaps if it was a top five, not a top three, they would probably both be on our list. But yeah, I agree with you, dude, especially when he fought Trinidad. That was blatant.
Yeah.
And it was to the point like, how have they not deducted any points on
Yeah, that
Bernard
was
Hopkins?
look, and I want to say this also. I don't like Bernard Hopkins' style of fighting, bro. I just don't like it. He's one of the, champion and everything. Congrats to him. Kudos to him and all that. But I just did not like his style. It was just like you said. It was just too street type of fighting.
Yeah,
and I didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, I'm cool with your number two, bro. I mean, I'm sorry, your number one, and that's gonna go to my number one. Now, I'm gonna give a little background here. Usually, when I pick an older fighter from the World War II era or before, I like to put him number three because the modern YouTube guys real young and they probably cannot connect with this boxer. But man, I've heard of this boxer before. And I kind of forgot about him until we did research. And I was like, dude, he's like on everybody's number one. And
Who is this?
And this guy's name is Fitzy Zivic. Okay.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. Dude, this guy was one of the most feared boxers because he was so admittingly dirty. He took pride in being a dirty fighter. Now, look, it was a different time. Boxing was different. It was okay to be dirty. The gloves were smaller, that kind of thing. But this guy Fitzy, bro, he was so dirty that he would fight Hank Armstrong, bro. And when he fought Armstrong, now you got to realize Armstrong, ESPN, Burt Sugar had him number in the top 5 on both lists. That's how great of a boxer Armstrong was. He even admits, this Zivic guy, that Armstrong was just too much. So he had to resort to thumbing. Do you know what thumbing is?
We'll put in the glove in the eye.
Yeah, putting the thumb part in the eye. So when he would hug, he would put his thumbs on and press in, pushing in the laces, everything else. He did everything possible. And he would even admit to going to low blows as much as possible. Even consider that his third punch. He would beat Armstrong because of that. And then on the rematch, he would beat Armstrong again, all due to dirty bouts that other great fighters in that time did not want to deal with. He beat Jake LaMotta because of stuff like that. There were other great boxers that were just like, this guy, it's going to be a long night. I'm going to give you some quotes that he said, bro. He even stated, in that 7th round against Armstrong, I headbutted him pretty good because I had to. Later on, after he retired, he goes, look, if I hit the guy, I'd hit the guy low and choke them out. He would also say my best punch was a low punch to the you-know-what. So if a guy is self-admitting to this, then I had to put him number one, bro. You'll never hear Holyfield. You'll never hear Margarito. They'll always deny to the end of the day that they were dirty fighters or that Margarito was wrapped up or that somebody was hitting behind the head. But this guy took the pride into being a dirty fighter.
Wow.
And look, man, he's on everybody's number one list. He is considered a legend because he beat the guy that nobody could beat in Armstrong. So that is my number one. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, wonderful, man. I'm actually curious and see if I can find anything on him, on YouTube or something. I gotta watch this guy. But yeah, that's interesting that you got him there.
Yeah. All right. So you have any final words on our? Oh well, you know what? Who did you leave out, man?
Who did I leave out? It was Agapito Sanchez, the guy that fought. Yeah, Dirty Sanchez, the one that fought Manny Pacquiao and numerous fighters. Nobody wanted to fight with the guy. He was just super dirty.
Well, Agapito beat Manny Pacquiao. That was like his welcome to America, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
Or to the West.
okay. Yeah,
I'm
and that
mistaken.
was one of the first fights I've seen with Manny Pacquiao, you know. So
Right.
I think he was a completely dirty fighter. I mean, what about Mike Tyson taking somebody's ear off?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying?
I think Tyson had a moment that he wishes he could take back. But I don't know, man. I mean, you see those, you're gonna get hit in the nuts that many times, bro. You're gonna want to do something.
Yeah,
That's unforeseen.
yeah.
I actually left out B-Hop and Margarito. I have them here on my list. So yeah, I'm cool with our list, man. Do you have any final words for our viewers?
Yeah, that just to like and subscribe to our channel, man. If there's any topics, guys, if there's any topics y'all want us to talk about, please let us know. We want to do it. We'll do an episode on it. Top 3, whatever, top 5, whatever it is y'all want to. We'll give our thoughts on it.
Right. I'm with you, man. Yeah, to our viewers, just go ahead and like and subscribe, comment. Sam and I are always commenting. By the way, if you do get a message from us, if it's the Stick and Move podcast, that is from me, Trey. If it is from Stick and Move Sam, that is from him. We like to reply to you guys. If you think we're crazy and are wrong on our list, go ahead and let us know. We don't fear any comment whatsoever. So bring it on. We love you guys very much. And like I always say, don't forget to stick and move, baby.
I am the greatest. I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass. You won't do shit. Just stick and move. Making you understand. Now stick and move.